Hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's session. So this is the third part of the mini series that we've been doing for Mental Health Awareness Week, and this session is going to be on meditation. So my name's Sarah. I am a yoga teacher and a wellness coach. I'm founder of Bright and Well Yoga. There's some details in the chat if you want to have a look at any of my kind of website and Instagram, then you can find me there. But if you've got any questions as well, my email is there. So if anything comes up after the session, then do get in touch. And if anything comes up during the session, just feel free to type into the chat, and there'll be a little chance at the end as well where I'll have a look in the chat and answer any questions that anyone's got. So do feel free to be interactive. I'll get everyone to put themselves on mute. I think you are already, but just so that everyone can focus on the meditations when we're doing them. And just to give you a bit of an outline of the session, I'm going to be giving you some details about what meditation is. So this is perfect if you're brand new to any meditation practice. I'll be talking about mindfulness as well, which is part of that kind of practice, but I'll tell you what the difference is and how that's linked. I'll also be talking about the benefits of meditation and mindfulness and why it is becoming such a kind of popular thing to add into your self-care routine, and maybe bust some of the myths about it as well, because it can come with some preconceptions about what it actually involves. So I'll be talking about that, and then I'm going to guide you through a walking meditation. If you do have the ability to step outside while I'm talking, that's absolutely fine. Or if you want to go near a window, or like you can stay near your desk, that's absolutely fine as well. But if you have got access to the outdoors, maybe going for a walk around the block, then that's absolutely fine. And if you've got a garden or something, then being out in nature can be a really nice thing to do while you're enjoying a meditation practice. I'll also talk you through a seated meditation that you can do anywhere, and then give you some tips and advice on starting a meditation practice and things that might make it a little bit easier, because I come across a lot of my students, they come up against challenges, so I'll talk about what those might look like and how to overcome them, so that you can leave this session with a little bit of an idea about how you might go about bringing meditation into your life and why you might want to as well. So I'll talk a little bit about meditation and mindfulness to start off with. So mindfulness is defined by Jon Kabat-Zinn, who is somebody who's been kind of doing research on mindfulness and meditation for a long time. He's founder of Mindful Based Stress Reduction program, which has been going for many decades now. And he describes mindfulness as the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, and observing the experience moment by moment. So what that means is that you're paying attention on purpose to whatever you're doing, and just observing it. So without labeling or coming up with any stories about what's happening, you're taking a little step back and observing as though you're a third party. And you can apply mindfulness to things like brushing your teeth, washing up, going for a walk. So I'll do the walking meditation later. It can be any part of your life that you practice, but you can do it in a mindful way. So just being really observant and trying to remain focused on the task in hand. Meditation is, it's a little bit like going to the gym for your mind, and it's this practice of meditation that enables you to be more mindful when you are not meditating. So it is linked, and you can have mindfulness meditations where the practice is to be mindful and observe something like your breath, but the mindfulness is something that you kind of take out in the rest of your life. So the meditation is maybe your 10-15 minute session of meditation where you are focusing on meditating and whatever you're using as your focus, whereas mindfulness is something that can kind of go out into the rest of your life. And without a meditation practice, it can be very difficult if somebody says, oh, just be mindful, be really in the present moment. If you're completely normal and you have a brain like everyone else around us where you've got 60,000 thoughts going on in your head, it can be very difficult to find that ability to be focused for any amount of time. So it's the meditation practice which is going to enable you to be present in other areas of your life. So I hope that distinction makes sense. There's so much like on social media about being mindful and being in the present moment, but it's the meditation itself that is going to make that easier and enables that to happen. So I'm going to talk about why you might want to practice meditation in order to be more mindful. There's scientific studies that have been done. It's been found to reduce stress and anxiety. So talking about Mental Health Awareness Week, it's something that has been proven to lower levels of stress. A lot of anxiety can be from that constant looking ahead into the future, maybe ruminating on things that have happened in the past, and becoming more aware of thoughts and what goes on in our minds. It allows us to get a little bit more perspective, and it allows us to become a little bit more in control as well. So rather than being controlled by the thoughts, we can choose what we decide to listen to. It allows you to connect better with others around you. You can listen more. So rather than always thinking ahead to what you want to jump in with in a conversation, it enables you to take a step back and be a better listener, which can have benefits to work, family life. It gives you that little bit of space in between trigger and your reaction. So then you become kind of a little bit more patient, and yeah, emotions are on a bit more of an even keel. It can reduce brain chatter, so you can kind of create that space with against all that noise that can happen. And it's actually been found to change the way that your brain is kind of physically made up. So they've done studies on the brains of monks that have been meditating for years, and they've found that different areas of the brain are bigger, the ones that are associated with feelings of happiness, emotional regulation. And our brains are not fixed. So there's something called neuroplasticity. You may have heard of this, but it's where you can change how your thought patterns work. So our brains like to opt for the easiest path. So if you notice that you tend to think the same things over and over again, these things aren't fixed. So if you're having anxious thoughts, by meditating and becoming more aware, you can start to change those thoughts that you tend to resort back to on a regular basis. So that's called neuroplasticity, if you want to find out more about that. But it's, imagine water going down a river and it always chooses the same path out of ease, and it's kind of allows you to carve a new route for the water to go down over time. And if you came to the session on Monday, the wellness talk, I talked a lot about the balance wheel and what's important to you, and how in order to really tune into your values and what's important to you, you do need to slow down and have that ability to be the observer rather than being kind of just pushed around by thoughts and your to-do list. So it can be really useful for that. I'm going to move now into a really short breath practice, and we're going to move a little bit so that you can just kind of get comfortable. That's the first thing that you should do if you're going to meditate. You don't need to do a yoga practice or anything like that, but do get into a state where you can sit comfortably. So we're just going to, I'm just on a chair here. I'll just move back so you can see. So sitting wherever you are, you can do the standing if you want to, and just do some circles with the shoulders, rounding them up towards the ears, and allow your gaze to soften. So either just looking down towards either if you're at a desk or on the ground, or you can close your eyes. So just start to circle the shoulders back. Notice your breath, and then we'll go back the other way. And then we'll move in time with the breath. So inhale, looking up, and exhale, moving down. And this is just so you can be comfortable when we come to do the seated meditation towards the end. So inhale, looking up, and exhale down. And then I'm going to get you to bring the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, and we're just going to do 2 circles in each direction. So just slowly circling, tuning into your breath. So you're allowing the breath to be slow and steady, and we'll go back the other way. Okay, and then slowly spreading the fingers nice and wide, elbows slightly behind. Okay, and I'm going to get you to just take a few breaths now. So stay where you are if you're standing or sitting. And I'm going to get you to place one hand on the lower ribs, one hand on the tummy. And we're just going to do an exercise that I call 1, 2, 3, breathe. So close the eyes and soften the shoulders. And we're going to take one breath in together. So inhale and try and draw the breath down to your tummy. And as you breathe out, just notice your breath. Notice the quality of the breath, whether it's high up in the chest, whether it feels weird breathing down to your tummy. On the next inhale and exhale, I want you to notice your body. So anywhere in the body that's grabbing your attention, just make any adjustments you need to. Notice if your mind is distracted and just come back to the breath and the body. And then on the 3rd breath, I'm going to get you to notice your thoughts. So big inhale and long, slow exhale. And then before you open your eyes and just return your awareness to wherever you are, just take a moment to notice how you feel. So a moment of mindfulness, of just observing without judging what's going on, just noticing, being aware, and then just open your eyes. So that little exercise is something that you could do wherever you are. You don't have to close your eyes. You can do it when you're out and about by having the eyes open, but using the breath as a kind of prompt for really tuning in can be really helpful. And it's that attention on the breath that is going to, I'm going to focus on as we move through these next exercises. So the next thing I'm going to do is a walking meditation. So I'm going to do it on my yoga mat just to keep in one area so that you can see me, but you can move wherever you want. So if you've got a lot of space, then just walk around. If you've got a tiny little area, just step up and down wherever you are. And you can do this outside. So if you are out on a walk or anything like that, then you can kind of visit this practice wherever you are. So what I'm going to get you to do to begin with is just stand up nice and tall, allow the shoulders to relax, crown of the head going up towards the ceiling, and just let everything soften and relax. And I'm going to get you to start walking, and we're just going to really focus on all the sensations that you can feel and make it really slow. You don't have to do this if you're outside and you don't want to look crazy, but if you're inside, just start to really slow the walking down. If you're walking at a normal speed, just notice all the sensations. So notice the movement through the sole of the feet, through the toes. You might feel sensations in other areas of the body. So notice how your legs are feeling. And notice your breath. So breathing in softly through the nose and out through the nose. Trying to get a sense of release as you exhale. So notice the shoulders, and as you exhale, just allow the shoulders to soften. You can close the eyes if you're somewhere where you're not going to walk into things. Notice how that changes the experience. Notice your balance. Notice the feeling of your skin and your clothes. Notice your shoulders, your upper body, your neck. And just notice this experience of walking. Be completely present. So if you start to think about things that are happening in the future or things on your to-do list, just bring your focus back to all the sensations that you can feel and to your breath. Okay, and then coming to somewhere where you can stand for a moment. And then we're just going to take a couple of moments here, just grounding down through the soles of the feet. So imagine you're growing roots down through the soles of the feet, bringing the weight evenly between the big toes, the little toes, and the heels. And then feel yourself getting a little bit taller, crown of the head moving up towards the ceiling. And we'll just take one last breath here. So big inhale. And exhale, just letting go. Okay, so that is a practice that you can do wherever you are. If you feel like your energy is quite high and you feel anxious, that's a really good exercise for feeling grounded and just connecting into the present moment. And sometimes when you're feeling maybe stressed and there's lots going on, sitting down to a meditation can feel really uncomfortable and really hard to kind of settle. So bringing some movement into it through walking can be a really good option if you're kind of new to meditation, but also if you're kind of feeling like sitting down isn't something that you want to do. So I'll talk a little bit about challenges that you might come up against. So I've just mentioned there, like not feeling comfortable sitting. That's completely normal. And it can be for the reason of just feeling like you want to move, and it can kind of make any feelings of stress maybe amplified if you're sitting still. It can be uncomfortable to sit if you're not used to it. So just make sure that you can lean up against a wall, you can use loads of pillows and padding and things just to make sure. The aim is to sit in a relaxed but steady and kind of still state. So you're not flopping over in a relaxed state, you're kind of using your muscles in a sort of semi-tensed way so that you're alert. And when I do the seated meditation in a moment, I'll talk you through coming into that kind of position. So using any props that you need to is a really good way of getting comfortable. So other challenges can be falling asleep. So there's different times of the day when you might want to meditate. Early in the morning is a really great time. If you've got that time, it kind of sets the tone for the day and allows you to reset and kind of just have a moment to think about how you want the day to go. But it's not going to be convenient for everybody. So you may decide that you're going to meditate in the evening. If you do feel like you're falling asleep, I would avoid any positions where you are like maybe more relaxed. So sitting up nice and tall can help with that, and sitting against a wall. It can be a sign if you do find that you're falling asleep, because this is something that people do ask me. It can be a sign that you are just really tired and that you're kind of pushing on through all the time in day to day, and as soon as you stop then you kind of crash. So it could be a sign that you do need to kind of get some early nights and prioritize rest. Another thing that people come up against is they say, I can't meditate, my mind is just so busy, it's got all these thoughts going around. It's a myth that the aim is to have a really quiet mind, and that you're going to be able to get rid of those thoughts and have this kind of feeling of peaceful bliss. What you should be aiming for instead is just an ability to notice when and where your mind is wandering off, and just drawing it back to a focus. So we'll focus on the breath in the meditation that we do in a moment. When we were doing the walking, you might be noticing the sensations of your feet, your breath, any kind of movements in the body. But that mindfulness element is that point where you notice the distraction and choose to draw yourself back to focus. So don't kind of beat yourself up if you're sitting there thinking of 101 things and you don't kind of find that place of stillness. The more you practice, then the easier it will get. Time can be a barrier. There is evidence that periods of 5 and 10 minutes do make a difference. So on brain scans and things like that, it has been found to make a difference. So don't feel like you need to commit to long periods of time. So don't let time be a barrier. You can, in terms of sticking to it, try and make it easy as possible. So there's theories about habits. Some people say that you should just repeat an activity for a certain number of days, but there's growing evidence that actually it's more linked to things being easy, giving you a sense of success. So if you can make the habit of meditation, if that's something that you want to add into your life, something that fits in around your routine already, it's not going to be something that's difficult. And make it attractive. So maybe make kind of a nice little seat area that you can come and sit in, and listen to an app or something to guide you. At the beginning, it can be really hard to just come back to your breath. So I would definitely recommend using an app such as Headspace or Calm. They both do free trials. There's Insight Timer, which is completely free. And things like there's a Deliciously Ella app that has some really good meditation. So there's so many different places you can look, and on YouTube as well. So using a guided meditation, that is a really good place to start, because it kind of brings you back to focus if your mind does wander. And yeah, just remember you can't do it wrong. It's just giving yourself that space to relax. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through a meditation now. So we're going to do a seated meditation. I don't know if everyone's on mute. I can hear some noises coming through. So if you could just check. I'm going to just move back away from the camera so you can see. I'm going to do my meditation just sitting on this stool. My feet are flat against the ground. So things that you can do, you should always have your feet really grounded. So you might be able to place a book or a cushion or some stacks of paper or something underneath your feet. So your knees are just slightly below the hips. And then sit up nice and tall. Imagine you've got a piece of string coming from the crown of your head. And then just gently round the shoulders up towards the ears and let them slide back down. So trying to keep the core slightly engaged so that you are able to sit up nice and tall. If it feels really uncomfortable, if you've got a back on your chair, feel free to lean back slightly so that you are supported, so that you don't kind of get backache or anything. And then with your hands, just have them resting gently on your legs or maybe in your lap. And then bring your eyes to either a low gaze or closing them. And then I'm just going to get you to bring your awareness to your breath. So breathing in through the nose. And then a gentle exhale. And bring your awareness to the breath, so noticing the sound of the breath. Notice the rhythm of the breath. So notice that slight pause between the inhale and the exhale. And just starting to let go with each exhale. Imagine waves coming in and out on a beach. So that continuous rhythm. And if you do start to get those thoughts distracting you, just bring your focus back to the breath. And to help you do this, I'm going to get you to count down from 10. So we're going to start with 10 as you inhale and exhale, and then 9 And I'm going to get you to just say it in your head so that it's the right speed for you. So counting all the way down to 1, and if you get distracted, then start again from 10. Do not worry if you get distracted over and over again. It's more an exercise of observance rather than trying to get it perfect. And as you start to settle into the breath, just allow any parts of the body that need to relax to let go. Noticing the physical experience of sitting still. If you get to 1, then just focus on the breath and let go of the counting. I'll just give you a couple more rounds of breath. Noticing how the breath has naturally fallen into a rhythm, perhaps. And then I'm going to get you to let go of the counting, just focusing on the breath. And then I'm going to get you to start to widen your awareness. So you've got part of your awareness on your breathing, the sound and the rhythm of the breath, but start to widen that kind of circle of awareness and start to take in around the body. So noticing the feet resting down the ground, down through the sitting bones, the shoulders relaxing. And then start to take in the sounds around you. So if you're indoors, maybe the sounds of the room. If you're outdoors, any sounds that you can hear, whilst keeping your focus on your breathing. Again, if you notice your mind has wandered, then gently guide it back. And then just scan your surroundings for the noises that are as far away as you can hear. So whilst maintaining that focus on the breath, you're taking in everything else that is going on around you, the layers of sound, without attaching any labels or opinions on them, just noticing. And then we'll start to bring that circle of awareness back in towards us, so allowing some of the further away sounds to just be a little more distant, bringing your awareness just around the body, so noticing how you feel, any sounds, and then bringing your awareness back to the breath. And we'll just take a couple more breaths here. So start to deepen the inhale as you're breathing. Feel the breath bringing energy into the body and gently exhaling. Just take 2 more breaths, just noticing how you're feeling. And then when you're ready, just gently open your eyes and just notice how you feel. So that is something that you can practice on your own. It's a breath awareness meditation. So if you want to Google it, there's lots around. And as I mentioned, those apps. If you've got any questions, then do give me a message in the chat. If anything during this session has sparked any questions, then do feel free to type anything in there, and you can get in touch with me via my email or through Instagram. But I hope that has given you a little bit of an insight into meditation practices, mindfulness, why you might want to kind of give that a go, and how it can benefit your mental health as well. Okay, so thanks for listening, and I hope you have a lovely day.